Let's get ready for a show. This is Shady Bonsai. Hey everybody, Kirk here with Shady Bonsai. Welcome back. Spring is in full swing here. It's been pretty cool though. Some trees are still doing the inside-outside dance. It got down to 32 degrees last night, even though we're having nice days sometimes as well. So got to protect those plants. But Mother's Day is this weekend. Today is Friday, and today is the load-in for the Mother's Day show. People bringing their trees to the Como Conservatory. I'm going to head over there later today, and I decided, what the heck, let's put a tree in the show. Now, I don't have any trees that are really show-worthy for like a really great show. I've got very young trees. But with this show, a lot of it is about education. I'm going to be one of the volunteers there talking to the public as they come through. So having a young tree that's in development can be a great learning opportunity for the public coming through. Frankly, for a lot of the public seeing our trees, they don't necessarily know the difference between a fully developed tree and a younger tree. And they think they all are cute little trees in pots. So it's fun for them no matter what they see. But if we can do some education around how we develop trees, that's how we get people excited in the hobby. That's how we get people into the club. So I want to talk about this tree. This is my Cotoneaster. This is one you've seen on the channel before. You saw me working on it last summer if you've subscribed, which you guys should do. This tree is pretty young though. It's maybe 5 years old or so in terms of how long it's actually been living. Definitely only been a bonsai or been in training for about 1.5 years. I got it last November. Here is a shot I will put up of what this tree looked like when I got it from the nursery center. See all this big long growth up on top, but I was attracted to the trunk. It had a lot to say for itself with this nice thick trunk. I got this in November, right when they were closing everything out. So again, I think I paid about $7.50 for this, which was an absolute steal. So this is what the tree looked like. Here's another photo, what it looked like after the very first styling that I did. And this is what it looked like last April. Pretty sparse, just kind of cutting it back to those bare bones that I wanted to keep. And now after last summer and after its flush of growth this spring, it looks like this. And I have given it one haircut that I did not, unfortunately, record. I was just trying to get some work done that day. I did sort of a general shaping, taking back some of the longer shoots that had grown this spring. It seems kind of early to be doing that, to be honest. But remember, my trees are in a greenhouse, so they have a month or two head start on everything outside. Any of the trees that have been growing outside would not even be remotely ready to be cut. This tree is acting more like a tree in June, which is in the middle of its most vigorous growth. And actually, it's really fun. I'll get a zoom on some little leaves like this later. I cut this tree on Wednesday. Today's Friday. Actually, let's zoom in right now. I want to show you what's going on. I have some new growth on this tree here. There's new little leaves here and here and here and here. These aren't on where I cut. A cut I made on Wednesday would be like this tip right here, or this tip here, right there. There was a cut I made on Wednesday. I don't have new buds popping out right there yet, but just cutting back this tree on Wednesday sparked it to put out new growth. These little leaves were not there on Wednesday, so they've already started to pop out since Wednesday. Okay, so what needs to happen before I can put this in the show? I want it to look as nice as I can. I know it's not like a huge, beautiful show quality tree, like maybe it will be in 5 years or something, but I want it to look nice. I want to show off the best I possibly can. I have washed this pot, got it looking as good as I can. It is a cheap pot. This is one of those Bonsai pots. I'm pretty sure this is one of the first pots I ever got that had a like one of those junipers in it. And I'm probably realizing right now, my hair looks awful today. This is just a day for me to be working on stuff at home. Oh well. So this is a cheap pot, but it was the right size. I do actually like the blue with the green of the leaves. I'm kind of a sucker for blue pots. But, it's good enough for what this tree is right now. As the tree gets better, will I put it into a nicer pot? Sure. I also like that this pot is deep. I'm still developing this tree. I don't want to put it into some really shallow, inch deep pot that's going to really slow this tree down. I'm still developing it. I want a deeper pot. And this pot also fit the size that I felt comfortable cutting the root ball down to last year when it went in the pot. So anyways, I've got a mix of lava, pumice, and akadama in here that it's growing in. That's just kind of the bare ground. We want to add something to the top, in this case moss. I don't have a really healthy collection of sun moss right now. I have some shade moss I just picked up literally off the ground. We're going to spruce it up as nice as we can and get it on there. It'll add a little something to the tree. Let's take a look at that moss and what we can do to sort of make it a little bit nicer. Okay, let's see what we can do. This is a patch of moss I just found. It's really dry, and it's got a lot of debris on it. So I can use my fingers. I can also use a tweezers if I want to come in here and just pull out some of these little bits of rock, bits of stems, bits of dead stuff. Sorry, I keep hitting the camera here. I just want to sort of clean this up so it looks like a nice carpet of grass. This is kind of a little bit of dead moss right there. I can just carefully remove that. I don't want that. I want everything to look really healthy and green. Overall, this is greenish. I'm getting a little bit of, coloration here that's not ideal. And this is just what I have to work with this time of spring. Everything has not yet fully greened up here in Minnesota. This is kind of the best I could find, but I've got some dirt on top. I'm cleaning up, just brushing this with my fingers. Again, a little clump of dead moss. We're gonna go ahead and pull those out and just try to make this look as nice as I can. This is actually bigger than my pot, so I'm gonna be able to take sort of the nicest part of this. I'm also gonna water this when I'm done. That often will sort of green the moss up a little bit as well. This is also very, very thick. There's a lot of dirt on the bottom of here. So we're gonna remove a lot of dirt from the bottom of this. This would be absolutely ridiculous to put on top of my pot. It would cover like half the trunk or something if I did that. So I just keep brushing, removing loose things and trying to make it look kind of tidy. I really don't want to draw a whole lot of attention to this. I want the attention to be on the tree. This is to provide a nice neutral, almost like background to it, or a ground plane. So I'm just cleaning all these little things up. And this is kind of piddly work to go through and pick these little tiny bits out that maybe are not ideal, but I kind of like it. It's kind of relaxing. I get to go through and just take out, the parts I don't like and make it look nicer. I'm gonna do maybe a little time lapse here as I clean this up a bit more. Okay, that's a pretty good first run. It's looking, greener just by removing some of the brown stuff. Still really too thick, so I'm going to flip the whole thing over and see what's going on in the back. That will get this dirty again. I will need to clean it up again, but I'll pick this up, brush some of that dirt away at least. And we got all this dirt on the back here. And I'm going to use this scraper here to start coming in and removing all this loose dirt on the back. And we will time lapse this as well. So I'm going to pause in the time lapse here. This is wild. I've actually removed, this is all dirt over here a little bit, but this in the middle, see how it's kind of a lighter color brown. This actually mostly isn't dirt. This is, the moss is growing on other layers of decomposed moss. So this is just a thick mat of moss. That could be kind of problematic because it is almost 2 inches thick. I'm going to try to shave some of this off, maybe use some shears and cut some of that off. We'll see what happens. So there is like layers of sand and moss and sand and moss. This is really thick. Gonna just keep at it until I get down to a thinner mat I can put on the tree. Okay, we flattened this out. It is still a little bit thick, but that's sort of the nature of this shade moss versus a sun moss. So that's kind of what we're going to be going with. I may, you know, it's got a lot of these little spore heads popping up. Sometimes those look good. In this case, I'm looking for something a little more uniform. So I'm actually going to do a little trimming here, a little lawn mowing, if you will. And I think my pot is kind of shaped this way. So we're going to throw that on the pot and just get the first initial impression of what we think. All right, we're going to bring the moss in. We'll have to work around the trunk, but I think there was kind of a natural split in the moss to work with. I'm not going to need this piece that was on the back. I'm going to go ahead and pull that off first to make this easier to work with. And yeah, actually we got a natural split forming here. Look, even just this piece is big enough. I don't love this stuff at the front though. So I think we're gonna go with this. This piece in the back was a little bit brighter green. So something like this. And I want to sort of judge this. This is obviously sloppy, not trimmed to the pot. And boy, it's so thick. I'm losing all my roots, you know? So I'm gonna futz with this and we'll see what we end up with and whether we like it or not. So here comes some trimming. I would like to do more, you know, tucking in and cleaning up. I'm just trying to decide, do I like it with the moss? I think it adds something. It is definitely thicker than I would like. It's mounding up. I tried to leave a bit of a hole here to kind of show off this strong root on the right here. I'm going to keep poking away at this, water it, and we'll see what it looks like. I'll be right back. All right, the tree has been watered. Is it perfect? No, I wish I had sun moss. I wish it fit a little bit nicer. But I'm, probably still gonna go in. Look, there's little things sticking up. I think you could spend, forever going through and just making this nicer and tidying it up. If we're gonna go to the trouble of showing off a tree, you want it to look as good as you can make that material look at that time. And so I'm, probably even once we get to the venue, I'll be going through and making some little adjustments because things will move around a bit as we drive there. But later today, I'm going to be going and bringing this tree over to Como Conservatory, and I'll show you that whole process as well. So let's jump forward in time and see what happens next. It's time to go to the show. I am putting my mini tree into my mini car. And I also am putting in here, oh, real close to the face, I'm putting in my stand that I'm going to be showing the tree on. All going down there in the trunk of the Mini and heading off to St. Paul. See you soon.